guys, it's Traci. Welcome to day 18 of Messy May and the prompt Serendipity. I thought I knew exactly what serendipity meant, but when it came time to explain it on this video, I realized I wanted to look up the definitions. I was happy to find one word that was common between all of the definitions. It was the word unexpected. Unsought, unintended, and or unexpected, but fortunate discoveries that happen during learning experiences by accident. I couldn't think of a better word to keep in mind as we go about creating today. So prepare to lean into the unexpected. I'm also going to be creating my page in my new Get Messy art journal. I am so excited to claim this as my Messy May journal and let Serendipity have her work inside. Oh my goodness, you guys, she is full of gorgeous pages just waiting to be played on. Okay, so to start our adventure with serendipity today, I am going to be using the Get Messy art book. If you have not had a chance to get your hands on this beautiful book, I highly recommend it. It is full of amazing prompts and projects by our amazing furry art mama, Kaylee Gray, several of the artists who have taught on Get Messy. You will not be disappointed. We are going to focus today on the lesson by Kaylee Gray where she teaches us how to create our own messy recipe. The way we're going to do that is we're going to think of 3 different categories, and these can be whatever you want them to be. It will be individual to you and the things that are making you happy to create right now. I ended up using the 3 that Kaylee has listed in the book. A medium, so you're going to pick 6 different mediums. You can see the ones there that I selected. One that matches each dice roll, 1 through 6. Then colors and techniques. And I highly recommend you select what is making you super, super happy right now to create with. Whatever mediums, whatever colors is really making you happy. I'm using a lot of springy colors right now, so those are the colors that I chose. And then the techniques, I just chose things that are really loose and really fun. And I'm just going to let the dice decide what is going to be on my recipe. I also thought it would be really fun for just a little something extra. I made a 4th card that has a list of themes on it, just in case I roll a 2-2-2 or a 4-4-4. So if I get the same number all 3 rolls, then I get to select something off of the theme to add to my page, and I'll roll again for that one. Just a little extra layer of fun. So that's what I'm going to be using. All right, let's get started. I'm going to lay out my medium, my color, and my technique. I'll set aside the theme for now, and I'm going to start with a recipe card, and I'm speeding this up just so you guys don't have to watch me roll like forever and write them down, and I'm just going to roll for step 1 and see what we have, and then I will gather my supplies, and we'll get started on our page. Okay, if you remember step 1, I rolled for a crayon and pencil in the color of yellow using my fingers. So I grabbed a Neo color 2 and a yellow woody, and I'm going to do a little scribbling, wet my fingers, and see what happens. Well, that was fun. That was step 1. Okay, it's time for step 2. I'm speeding this up and I'm just going to roll so you can see me creating the next step. For medium, I've rolled a 1, which means I get watercolor. For the color, I've rolled 2 again, so I'm going back to yellow, but watercolor this time. Next roll is a 5. So I get to use stencils with the watercolor and yellow. So I'm going to go gather up some supplies and I'll be back to create. Okay, I went to my stencil drawer and I gathered this gorgeous Ray Mizigman floral. I think it's a mask instead of a stencil, but this is what spoke to me when I opened my drawer. So that is what I chose. Remember, this is your serendipitous adventure, and so you get to pick what speaks to you. So I'm watering down getting my watercolors ready, and I'm going to be using the yellows. I don't usually use watercolor with a mask like this, so I'm kind of excited to see what happens. I'm going to get my watercolor and just go over the mask and see what happens. Well, that was fun. I'm really loving how this page is turning out so far. It's time for step 3, so let's roll. All right, we've got a 5 crayon or pencil again. And for the color, a 6 this time, pink. And for the technique, stencils again. I'm excited to see what this is going to do. I'm going to go gather supplies and I'll be back. Okay, I have gathered supplies for step 3. I've got some Neocolor 2 crayons, Stabilo Woodies, and watercolor pencils in various pinks. I have selected one of my favorite handmade stencils that I just adore playing with. And I'm just going to play some music for you and let you watch me create during this step. I'll come back at the end. Page is going. It is time for step 4, and just a reminder, keep your expectations set to the side and really lean into where the dice are taking you in your page if you're following along. All right, so step 4, we're going to start with number 4. So we got ink and spray. The color is turquoise, and for the technique, we have fingers again. Oh, inky fingers. All right, I'm going to go gather supplies. I'll be back. Okay, I am back and ready for step 4. I have gathered a few sprays that I want to try. This one by Dina Wakley is actually the turquoise color, so I'm going to use it. I'm just going to I'm clearing my space a bit because I know I'm fixing to make a mess, and I'm going to kind of block the things that I don't want to get too sprayed, and I'm just going to see where this goes. I'm planning to use my fingers after I get the spray on there, so I'm going to put the music back on and let you watch. Oh my goodness, I'm having so much fun with where this page is going. We've got room for one more step, so let's get the dice out and our cards and let's roll to see what step 5 is going to be. So for the medium, I've rolled a 6, which means I get to use gesso of any color. The color is turquoise, which I'm not sure how that's going to work with me using gesso, but I'm going to leave it there and see what happens. Ooh, and technique is remove. I'm super excited about this one. Okay, so I've gathered supplies. I am going to start with some gesso. I'm going to do some adding of gesso, removing of gesso. I think I'm going to start by just scraping some on and scraping some off, blotting with a towel here and there. You're going to see me removing some with a paintbrush. I am literally just trying everything with this one. It's so fun, but I ended up loving the way the gesso looks put on and scraped off. So I did quite a bit more of that. And I realized as I was scraping off and putting everything onto a little piece of scrap paper on the side, that it was building up with kind of a chunky little pattern that I thought looked like fun. So I ended up picking that up and blotting it onto the page, which was interesting because it added some and removed some all at the same time. So I absolutely fell in love with the texture of that and how it looked. So I decided to grab my black gesso and try and recreate the same thing. So I added some black to that same piece of paper that the white gesso was already on, and then just blotted it on and blotted it off. And oh my gosh, you guys, this part got me so excited, the way the randomness just created on the page and the texture and the way the colors were blending. So I decided to take my color, which was turquoise, that I wasn't sure how I was going to use, and I added that to the page and started adding it as well. And then I used a little technique that I use sometimes. I call it the scrubby. I put the paper down and you can see I scrubbed it really hard with my fingers and my fingernails, and I don't know how to describe it. It adds paint and takes it away all at the same time, builds these really, really cool layers of texture. You've got to try it. Okay, that is all of our steps. And as I'm looking at this page, I can see every step that we've done, every layer represented, peeking through. And in this black texture that I just see some flowers here or there. So I've decided to doodle a little bit of the florals and the leaves that I can see popping through. I've added the word serendipity that I used in the introduction, and I am super, super happy with how this page turned out. It was nothing like I expected because I had absolutely no expectations. It was so much fun just following the dice and letting creativity take over. I can't wait to see what recipes you make and what pages you create. But wait, there's more. You guys, I just couldn't stop. I ended up making a recipe number 2 and a recipe number 3. So stay tuned for some quick bonus content.